Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. We've been discussing politics this morning, and my next guest won a special election November of 2014 to fill the vacant District 5 seat on the Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors. He's a graduate of James Madison High School and has a bachelor's degree in information science from UW-Milwaukee and a master's degree in information systems management from Keller Graduate School of Management. I welcome Supervisor Martin Weddle to Our Issues Milwaukee. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being here this morning. And as I stated, you won a special election last year. You had 74% of the vote, and that was a new record for the county board. So you were pretty proud of that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was elated. I actually was elected on my 36th birthday, November 4th, 2014, and it was my first time running for office, and to win by that margin, just want to say I really worked hard on the doors, hearing the issues of the community and talking with constituents. It was a new experience for me running for office, but I totally enjoyed it. I totally grew from it, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, and you're ready to forge away and continue doing what you've established thus far. So when did you realize that you wanted to get into politics?
Well, it's interesting. I've actually been a policy analyst for the very board that I ran for about a decade. And I also was a staff person to County Supervisors Willie Johnson Jr. as well as Khalif Rainey. So I've been involved in politics for over 10 years now. And when the seat became vacant, when Alderman Russell Stamper moved up to the Common Council, I figured I would take my skills and expertise and my knowledge base and use them on a greater scale to impact the lives of people and make a greater change and a big difference in this community.
And speaking of making a difference in the community, what would you say are some of the main issues that the Board of Supervisors are talking about these days?
You know, we take up a lot of issues. There's a vast array. We recently just passed the issue dealing with poverty. We just passed the SEED initiative, and SEED stands for Sowing, Empowering, and Eliminating Food Deserts.
Okay.
And it's targeted at seniors in urban neighborhoods where they don't have readily available fruits and vegetables, and the nearest grocery store that provides that is over a mile away. So we deal with issues of poverty. We deal with issues of violence through the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office. We deal with quality of life issues, parks department, cultural institutions such as the Market Center, the Milwaukee Art Museum, which I'm a board member of. So there's a wide array of issues we deal with.
Of course, when you talk about countywide, there are a lot of important things, but I just wanted to give the viewers at home an opportunity to kind of know what's been going across your desk lately. And with that being some of the issues as far as the board's concerned, what are some of your main concerns when it comes to District 5, and where exactly is that District 5 located?
I have a very diverse and expansive district. My northernmost border is Townsend Street off 27th Street. My southernmost border is the East-West Freeway. My easternmost border is Prospect Avenue. My district encompasses Easttown area as well as the 3rd Ward and Summerfest area. And my westernmost border is 62nd Street.
Wow,
so,
that's a wide range.
Yes, I have some of the most affluent constituents in the state in my district and some of the most impoverished. So there's an interesting balance.
Yeah, so speaking of balancing that, give me an idea of a couple of the main issues that you are working on right now.
Well, right now I'm working on an initiative called the Summer Youth Chess in the Parks program. And that's set to launch Monday, July 6th at McGovern Park at 1 p.m. I'm really excited about it. I grew up playing chess. I learned as a youth how to move the pieces, but I actually didn't get to the competition portion of it until I reached James Madison High School, where I ran track. And it so happens that the principal there at the time was Willie Jude, and he would pick me up from track practice and take me home and feed me with his family, and started playing him in chess at the dinner table. And he's like, "Oh, you got some skills." So we go to school the next week, and he's my principal. He placed me in the chess homeroom, and the rest is history. Ended up loving the game. It changed my life for the better. I traveled the country playing it. I eventually won a state championship and was nationally ranked. So that's why I decided to come up with this program so I could give back something that was given to me as a youth. And County Supervisor Khalif Rainey, when he found out I played, he said, "Yeah, you need to do something with that." So he collaborated with me on it. He's been instrumental in this whole initiative, so I'm really excited about it. And it's set to kick off Monday, like I said, at McGovern Park, July 6th at 1 p.m. but it'll also travel to 4 other parks, which include Lincoln, McGovern, Sherman, and Mitchell. So, in Washington, Washington Park. So I'm really excited about this to give youth the opportunity to enjoy a game that changed my life.
Yeah, we have to discuss this chess thing because anybody that has even tried to play or understand the game knows it's not easy, that's for sure. So when we talk about you being able to not only beat your principal at Madison at the time, you were a state champion.
Yes, I was.
In 97?
1997, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so when you talk about playing the game of chess, it's a lot of thinking and a lot of really, before you make a move, really looking at every possible consequence of that move, right?
Correct. It seems like you know more about it than you give yourself
actually,
credit
I wouldn't
for.
know what to do if you put the board right here. I wouldn't even know where to start. So is it kind of like checkers?
It's nothing like checkers. Nothing like checkers at all.
Exactly. See,
Right.
I have no clue. It was actually studies sponsored by the U.S. Chess Trust. They said participation in chess enhances problem-solving skills, concentration, creativity, and intellectual maturity. So we're talking about you taking those particular problem-solving skills, etc., and teaching this game to young people during the summer at the park. How much do you think they'll be able to take away from playing this game?
Well, like I said, I learned how to move the pieces when I was about 12 years old, but I really didn't play competitively for another 5 years or so. So really just want to expose them to it. Some may like it, some may not like it. But if you expose them to it, you never know. And I think it's important because, like you said, chess teaches creativity, planning skills, forethought. You know, in life, you should really think before you make a move. And in the game of life, there's people trying to do things to you at certain times. So you need to contemplate what's going on out there before you act. And I want to allow youth the opportunity to gain these intangible skills that will help them navigate through life. And I think the game of chess is perfect to do that.
I agree with you. It was David Bronstein, the Soviet chess grandmaster, that said the most powerful weapon in chess is to have the next move. So in life, you really do have to know what your next move is going to be, and if that plan A doesn't work, you got to have a plan B, right?
That's right.
That's what it boils down to. So again, this particular Chess in the Parks special summer youth programs kicking off July 6th at McGovern Park, which is located at 5400 North 51st Boulevard. And I think that what you and Supervisor Rainey are doing is outstanding. So it's exciting to see how many of the kids actually get involved.
Yes.
Congratulations on putting that idea into action. Last month, the county board passed a resolution that you sponsored to create a task force for transition of incarcerated fathers in the community. Tell us more about that.
Yes, we just passed recently on board day the FACT Task Force resolution, and what FACT stands for is Father Assisted Community Transition. And you know, oftentimes when males are incarcerated, they receive some services while they're in the penal institutions, such as AOTA counseling and some educational initiatives. But once released, they're just out there on their own, and they don't receive any more of these services that are vital to them becoming a productive member of society and getting back involved in their children's lives. So that's what this task force is really aimed at, helping men who have been incarcerated, who have families, who have children, to become productive members of society again and receive some help, you know, because once they're released, they're back in the community. We just can't turn a blind eye on them and overlook them. They have children, they have families, they're human beings, they're men too. So this task force will look at issues that affect them, such as alcohol and drug abuse. It will provide anger management courses, educational initiatives, child support payment help, and things of that nature. So I think it's important that we don't turn our back or a blind eye on anyone transitioning back into society, and that's what this task force is really charged with doing.
And as you mentioned, it's a 9-member panel, and you'll begin discussion no later than September of this year. And I love the concept, and the best thing about it all is that there is no cost for this particular task force.
No
so when you talk about looking at some of the issues that young people deal with on a daily basis, specifically especially in the inner cities of Milwaukee and cities around the country. A lot of times it goes back to a lot of these kids not having a relationship with both of their parents, and it is important for the men who are going to be coming out of jail to know that they really do play a role in really making a difference in the structure of the family itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was fortunate enough to have two wonderful parents. My father's MacArthur Weddle. He's the executive director of Northcott Neighborhood House. He's basically a legend in the community. He's one of my heroes. Love him to death. And so I was fortunate to have him. And he was able to help me navigate through a lot of pitfalls in life. And without him, I wouldn't be sitting here speaking with you today.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that these men being transitioned back out into the community become a part of their children's lives, to show their children that they're loved and, you know, that they're receiving love back.
Yeah.
And, you know, with everything that's going on in the society today and the world today, a lot of hateful things, a lot of insightful things, the only thing to really combat it is love and good relationships.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I know your daddy, Mac Weddle, is so very proud of you. So if you're watching, Mac, hello. Now let's switch gears for a moment and discuss what everybody across the state has been discussing lately. That's the financing plan for the $500 million new Bucks Arena. So I need to know, I asked our last guest, Willie Wade, if in fact he was for or against it. Where do you stand?
I'm totally for it.
Okay.
The Bucks Arena and this catalytic transformative development lies right outside of my district, but it will have a huge impact on the total city of Milwaukee. Like Alderman Wade said, I believe if the Bucks were to jump ship and leave the state, we would go from a Tier 2, Tier 3 city to a Tier 9, Tier 10 city. It would leave a huge void and a huge hole in the hearts of many people, but also in the tax base and economic base of not only the city, but the county and the state. So I'm for it.
Now you're talking about what tier it would put the city on and how many Bucks fans would actually be crying tears. So, you know, it's really one of those things that's going to be interesting when it's all said and done. Republican legislative leaders did reach a deal on a new state budget on the last day of the fiscal year, so we'll all sit back, wait and see what happens. And I should mention that the Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors, you guys did delay the proposal to sell the Park East Strip for $1. So we'll keep our eyes on what happens with that as well. So finally, as we wrap up, you had called, like many lawmakers living in this city, you've called for a safe summer for everyone. In your opinion, what should they be doing in order to help keep their neighborhoods safe?
I think they need to be proactive. Look for positive outlets such as the Summer Youth Chess in the Parks program. Join a cultural institution. Join a music group, join a dancing group, or just a social group where you could talk about issues and bounce ideas off each other and brainstorm and come up with some positive energy and try and keep the negative to a minimum. So I would say engage with each other and look for positive outlets. Yeah. Let's try and be positive out here because there's enough negativity to go around to make all of us sick. So let's not focus on that. Let's be positive and uplift one another and try and make a difference and do some good out here.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time. Martin Weddle is a Milwaukee County Board Supervisor for District 5, and for more information on the work that he's doing, you can log on to milcodistrict5.com or call 414-278-4261. That is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take yet another look at our issues, Milwaukee. Have a great day.